Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
And as always, I'm Steve Wilkes.
I'm not exactly as always because I'm doing my impression of the old man in the sea.
Yeah.
I think. After 44 years of not having a beard, I decided I'd stop shaving around Christmas time. So,
Getting a little itchy?
yeah, I'm about tired of it. But that's not why we're here.
No, it's not. We're here for beer.
That's right. And this very beer that we're tasting is a Pinkus Organic Unfiltered Pilsner beer, or Pils.
It's very good too.
It is very, very nice, very clean.
And it's germane.
It's German. It's germane as well.
It's German and germane.
It is germane to the beer that we've got boiling right in front of us.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Well, we've got a Pilsner that we're making with 2 pounds of organically, locally grown corn. And so my friend Andy Feinstein is a master gardener, great gardener, and a brewer and a winemaker. And he grew some corn in his corn patch and harvested it and had it ground at the War Eagle Mill, which is a local old mill around here, and gave me some. And so I said, well, we'll make a Pilsner
There you go.
out of it. So that's what we're doing today. But you can't just throw your corn in your mash.
You can if it's flaked and rolled
Yeah.
maize or corn, but
Right.
if it's cornmeal, you can't. So what do you got to do?
You've got to make a cereal mash. So will it mash?
Will it mash?
Yes, it will. But here's what you got to do. You've got to add some. In this case, we have 2 pounds of corn, so we have 1 pound of 6-row, high enzymatic.
That's right.
Lots of good enzymes in there.
Use
What's
this-
that fancy word?
It has high diastatic power.
Diastatic power.
Yeah, you use 6-row because we're going to use a combination of enzymes and heat, to convert the starches or break down the starches.
That's right.
In that corn so that it would be available in the mash.
That's right. So we did a rest at 120 degrees for 15 minutes.
Yeah, 100.
And what is that
That's about
in?
50 degrees Celsius.
Yep, Celsius. And then we brought that up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 65.
About 65.
And let that set for 15 minutes. Then we brought that up to the boil and boiled it for
About 15 minutes.
about 15 minutes. So 15, 15, 15.
The first rest was a protein rest to break down the proteins. Then you bring it up to that second rest, which will convert some of the starches into sugars, and then you do the boil. While at the end of that second rest, what we did was we came out and I started the main mash with 9 pounds of Belgian Pilsner.
Right.
And we are doing the brew-in-a-bag method.
Which is so easy.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the first time I've seen it. I really like it.
So with 6 gallons of water, I brought that up to 130. Oh, forgive me. Anyway, we brought it up so that when we added the grain, we could start a protein rest out here as well. And it's really easy to do. You just get a bag big enough to line the pot, and you heat up your water to strike temperature. And if you miss, the good thing, if you miss low, you turn on the heat and bring it back up.
Yeah.
So while the protein rest was going on outside, you were bringing the cereal mash up to a boil.
Right.
And it's a similar theory to decoction in that you take that mash, which is essentially a third the size of this one,
Right.
and you bring it out, you dump it in the main mash, and it helps bring the temperature up. Now, when we added the cereal mash to the main mash, we missed by about 12 degrees.
Yeah.
But the good part about mashing in your kettle is we just turned on the fire, and up it came. We brought it up to the saccharification rest temperature. We took it inside, actually, and wrapped it in a blanket, and then we went to lunch.
Yeah.
We came back, and this is the other fun part about brewing in a bag. You just, since you mash using all the water that you're going to need for the beer, you just gather up the bag, pick it up, and we hung it from a ladder.
Yeah.
And Steve spun it around. He found out that by spinning it around that you squeeze the wort out of it.
Yeah, so we got as much of the liquid out as we could, reasonably, and ended up with 6.5 gallons of pre-boil wort, the volume, which is what we were after. So that's when we stopped. And gosh, how easy is this?
It's going to be fairly big beer. It started out, the pre-boil gravity was 1055, and we figure once we boil off about a gallon or so, it'll be down to like 1065 or so.
Yeah.
And then we will cool it down to lager pitching temperature. I'm going to shoot for like 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which will be around 68 Celsius.
Which shouldn't.
And we'll ferment it there for a week. And then
No,
bring
wait a
it.
minute. Say that again. You said 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 Celsius.
I think so.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
We're so international. You got a dog sniffing your rear end.
Well, that happens from time to time.
But we're going to use the low-tech lagering system.
Oh yes, the LTLS.
That's right, to lager the beer in a couple of coolers, and we use recirculated ice water around the fermenter to keep it at the proper temperature. So,
Now, what's going to be our hopping rate?
the hopping, I'm going to make this pretty hoppy. Because we're going to throw in 1.9 ounces of pelletized Czech Satz hop pellets.
At 3.6 alpha acid.
Right, 3.6 alpha acid. We'll put that in we've been boiling for about 30 minutes. It's about time to throw in the first hops, and we'll let those boil for 60 minutes. Now we're doing a 90-minute boil because we want to boil off, and it's a fairly vigorous boil, we want to boil off the DMS precursors, so our beer won't taste too corny. It's got corn in it, but we don't want it to taste too corny.
Yeah. Only our jokes will be corny.
That's right. This time, not our jokes aren't the only things that are corny.
That's right.
So, what did you think of the whole process today?
Well, a couple things struck me. One, I'd forgotten how much fun it is to brew with a friend. So I really enjoyed that, and I thought that the cereal mash was really easy to make. There was nothing difficult about this at all. Now, maybe had I been doing it all by myself, I might have been a little distracted. But I thought the boil in the bag, I think it's great, and I'm gonna go get me a bag and try it. I mean,
and our efficiency, I figured out. I thumbnailed our efficiency at being like, what did I say, 81% or something like that?
Yeah, really high.
So pretty darn good.
So this is the way to go. Shall we add the hops?
Yes. Would you do the honors, sir?
I'll do the honors.
And then at the end of the boil, I forgot to say, about 5 minutes before the end of the boil, we'll put in another 2 ounces of hops.
So it'll be very floral.
That's right. So thank you, sir, for
Thank
your
you.
help today. Cheers. And thank you for the homegrown corn.
Well, thank Andy Feinstein, and
Thanks,
we'll
Andy.
thank him with some beer.
Excellent.
Happy brewing. Stay warm wherever you are, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Cheers.
Come and visit us on the web. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of both our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs, Introduction to Extract Home Brewing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering and Decoction Mashing, and our latest edition, Introduction to Wine Kits. And for a limited time, check out our 2010 Brewer's Logbook. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Write to james@basicbrewing.com, steve@basicbrewing.com, or just use the contact form on basicbrewing.com.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.